Hi, everyone. I am Carrie Little, and today I want to talk to you about when you become a new licensee, interview questions. So I saw this in one of the previous videos. Someone was like, I just got my license and I don't know how I should interview or what questions I should ask. So I'm going to give you some of my ideas. I am, again, the designated managing broker of Caremark Realty Group and the co-owner of the company in the western suburbs of Illinois, and I happen to be a licensed instructor in a few states, but specifically in Illinois. Now, when you take the real estate exam, some of the instructors will give you questions you should ask. Now, I do want to say this. I think you should interview with a boutique. I think you should interview with a commercial company. I think you should interview with a company that's going to give you a W-2. It's going to be a real job. I think you should interview with a big box company. Yes, I think you should do all of it. Why? Because then it'll give you an idea of what's available and you'll figure out how you want to work. Now, when I saw some of the questions, one question was, I'm probably going to be a part-time agent. I don't know how to ask. I hear that when you tell people you're going to be a part-time agent, they're like, you know what? We don't want part-time agents. Now there's truth in that. So I would have a different spin on it. I would probably say, when someone interviews me and says, so Carrie, do you want to be part-time or full-time? Say, I haven't decided yet. It really depends on your brokerage and my goals. And then you might go right into some of your goals. Your goals might be to be an investor. And if you're already an investor, you might say, I've done 12 flips in the last 2 years. Bingo, they'll take you part-time because you're going to close a deal. So sometimes you're going to have a conversation. And even when I interview, it's more like a conversation because I need to know where you are. So here's some things you might want to know. You go in the interview is, do they offer training? Everyone says they offer training. Everyone says they do. Now there's some big box brokerages that do a really good job. When I started in 2001, we had a 2-week training and I couldn't do 2 weeks in a row. I had little kids. So I did 1 week at the beginning of October, 1 week at the end of October, because it had to work around my schedule and they worked with me. So you want to know if they offer training, and I mean real training, and you should write this down. You want to know if they have in-house MLS training, if there is multiple listing service training. Does your local association offer training? They probably do. If you're in Illinois, your local association does, the state association and the National Association of Realtors. They all have training. Now, we really do need to learn at the local level, but you may not know what you don't know. And in addition to that, you have your brokerages. You want them to train you on how to write a listing agreement, how to write a contract, what's the rules for what documents do I need? You can learn a lot of that at the association, but you're most likely going to learn it from your sponsoring brokerage. And when I interview, I ask agents, so if you're going to be part-time, what are you going to do when you have a client and we have a conversation? So a lot of times I'll have agents that are part-time, and I always tell you, listen, when you know you have to show properties and you know they're going to write an offer, even if you don't think they will, I need to know, because either I'm going to train you, Mark's going to be available, or someone else is going to be available kind of on call for the day you have to write an offer. Because the moment you go show houses on a Friday, and then Saturday night at 7 o'clock, maybe I'm at a movie, maybe I'm at a play, maybe I'm at a concert, maybe I just went to bed early because I'm exhausted. That's when you're going to need help. So I always say, if you're new, you got to keep me in the loop. You should be emailing me, carbon copying me on everything so you can stay in the loop. So if you're part-time, you need to understand kind of what's available, because remember, full-time agents are available during regular business hours. Part-time agents are available when they're available. So you also want to know if the company offers on-demand training. You can go watch a video. Do they have trainings in person? Do they have trainings maybe via Zoom? Or do they have training one-on-one? You want to know all of this. Now, I have a different concept for one-on-one. I need you to show up for the Zoom training or the in-person training. Then let's talk about one-on-one. I don't want to, it sounds rough, but I don't want to sit with you for an hour to teach you something and you are not showing up to class. So I need all of my agents to take all of the multiple listing service classes. If you don't know how to use the multiple listing service, it's like owning your own business, a Nordstrom, a TJ Maxx, a Macy's, a Mariano, something, and not knowing where the inventory comes from. I don't care what brokerage you work at. You need to learn how to use the multiple listing service. So a lot of times they think I'm the help desk. I can be the help desk. But the day you need help, you can't you can't be willing to learn that day. You have to already be learning. So when you do need my help, I can kind of coach you through it because you've already been through the process. So you got to show up to the seller boot camp. You got to show up to the buyer boot camp. You got to show up to the landlord boot camp, the tenant boot camp. And if you can't see it in person, it's on demand, because my company, it's on demand. So you want to know, and we started doing like 10-minute mastery, kind of like what I'm doing for you. And sometimes you do need in person. Sometimes you need a one-on-one. That's okay. We need to know how you learn, but you also need to know that you are responsible for your education. This is not a job. You're not getting paid to learn. So whether you show up or not is up to you. Maybe you want to know if you can shadow another agent. Some agents don't want you to shadow because they don't want you to see what they do. So don't be offended. You need to learn how to open a lockbox. So you're gonna ask a lot of hard questions. And again, it's training. And then you got to know when someone says, how are you gonna pay bills for the first 6 months? Because most agents don't close a deal for the first 6 months. So if that's gonna be you. So by the way, it's really your choice on where you want to go. And it's okay that if you go somewhere and you decide this isn't working out and you go somewhere else. But let me challenge you. Before you leave a brokerage, if you don't get caught up in the hype, because Instagram will have you hopping around and then you're mad, then you're calling your old brokerage back and you want to go back. You don't want to be the agent that hops around brokerages. So if you're not getting what you need, call your managing broker, call the designated managing broker, call the training department, call the broker, send an email, say, hey, I'm feeling a little stuck. I'm trying to do this, but I feel like I could use some more help. Ask the hard questions. And then if it doesn't work out, then I get it. You can go. It makes sense. So, and my other part of the interview would be tell them what you really want to do. I said this a little bit at the beginning, but tell them you want to be an investor. Tell them you want to get into commercial. Tell them you want to be a listing agent. Tell them you want to build wealth. And do they help you with that strategy? Because these are all of the things you want to know. And it's okay. You don't have to sign up right away. Don't be in a hurry. It's okay to take a week and ask the questions. Is it cheaper for me to sign up today or to wait till the first of another month? Because in my market, it's prorated. So you could sign up in 1 month, but if you'd waited 2 days, it might be more expensive, but you may have paid all of your MLS fees. So, and say, is there anything I didn't ask that you could share with me? Is there anything else I need to know? There you go. So my tip is make sure that whoever you interview with, you train. Number 2, they train. Number 2, ask if they have on demand. Number 3, the learning is up to you. And number 4, interview with more than one brokerage. Now it's okay if you interview with one, you're going there, but listen, if your parents own the brokerage, that's where you're going. But it's also okay that even if you're going to go work for your parents, to go interview with other companies so you understand the difference. So I want to thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell here on my YouTube channel, and make sure that you consider following me on Instagram and Facebook. Every Friday on Instagram, I go live at 9 a.m. Central Time for Coffee with Carrie, where I teach you something. Join me on Clubhouse. And if you really need to learn, sign up for the Agent Journey. If you don't want the membership, every month I offer a course that you can invest in. Thanks for watching.